Haha, now we got it. Ooh. Now I'm knocking over the Fruit Loops.
If you're even remotely interested in film, chances are you have heard of A24. They're an independent production company that has been making waves in cinema for the better part of a decade now. As of 2019, they had about 25 different Academy Award nominations, and their most recent film, Minari, actually was nominated in 6 different categories at this year's Oscars. Needless to say, the A24 hype does not seem to be dying anytime soon. But what makes A24 so special? Why do film buffs care so much about this particular production company? Well, I feel that the real secret behind A24's success, unlike many of the brands,
What is Pac-Man fever and who's likely to get it? Now, just about anyone. Pac-Man has come out of the video arcade closet and is moving into your living room. For many people, there's only one way to unwind after a tough day of playing Pac-Man when the wrist is sore and the thumb is blistered, and that's to read a good book. But many people say the book tells you nothing. One of them, a math, physics, biology major from RPI, Keith Rainier.
Today, August 21st, Ross Coulthart's new documentary drops, titled Out of This World. And in it, Dr. Gary Nolan, world-renowned immunologist of Stanford University, stated definitively that people who know about UAP crashes, the programs surrounding them, are about to go public, and that there is a UFO cover-up.
The house of cards is falling, baby. So I was able to see a small...
Change is a choice. Old or green. Outdated or smart. Past or future.
Documentary, and I have transcribed it, and I'm going to share that with you. Later I will watch the totality of the documentary, and maybe I'll do another analysis of it, but this is off the fly because this is breaking news, and I think it's really important I get this out there ASAP. So the way I'm going to read this transcript is where it is in parentheses, it's Ross Coulthart speaking, and where it is not, it's Gary Nolan, but I'll say their names before each sentence anyways. Ross Coulthart states, when you say the government's been involved in a cover-up, do you think they've been concealing? Gary responds, oh yes. Ross Coulthart responds, it's an amazing allegation. Gary responds, I know it for a fact. Ross Coulthart responds, why do you know that? Gary responds, because I've spoken to the people who are about to come out and whistleblow on it. Ross responds, wow, so you know what's coming. Gary, yeah. Ross, so there has been a cover-up. Gary, yeah. And there has been an active cover-up. I mean, just look at what the Department of Defense announced last week. They announced an office to study the phenomenon. Money put aside. They said we're going back to 1947, Ross. Which is incredible. That's the date of Roswell. Gary, yeah, 1947. We want a list of every operation that you've done to disinform and misinform. For those that instinctively respond to that with, well, big deal. Who cares what Gary Nolan says? Well then, maybe you don't have a proper comprehension of the likes of Gary Nolan. He is a...
What is Pac-Man fever and who's likely to get it? Now, just about anyone. Pac-Man has come out of the video arcade closet.
We all live in Peter Thiel's world. From business to technology to politics, he's used his massive wealth to shape society and control your life. And he wants even more power. In 2022, Thiel's investment in hand-picked far-right candidates, some of whom he nurtured for years, shaped the narrative for the entire election.
J.D. Vance will be the next Republican senator. A victory for Peter Thiel.
Percent of cancer patients suffer from skin side effects. What if your caring touch could...
Foreign trade is the key to prosperity. Free trade will bring on a Great Depression.
The North American Union is the merger of the United States, Mexico, and Canada into one super country.
I don't see the likelihood of establishing a North American Union in our lifetimes. The road to North American Union is not a new development.
Canadians are saying no to the North American Union and yes to Canada's sovereignty.
The discussion here, and certainly I've been part of it and an advocate of it in a way, is that Canada, the U.S. should seek to have a deeper type of integration with more predictable rules.
Our economies now are very integrated. Our societies are growing increasingly integrated. What's needed now is a North American idea for all three. What kind of...
It's a huge factor for your own perception of reality, meeting a different being.
The whole planet deserves to know the truth. You may be one of the few people who might be able to help us understand.
Species are brought together on a table and have diplomatic conversation.
This is happening?
This is happening.
Where?
Madness.
Give an example. What happened with you?
This great being enters the room. It's a strong, crisp frequency that your body reacts to.
It's happening. It's happening behind the scenes. I mean, Tim, what is the truth?
Whoa.
Hello, everyone. A couple weeks ago, I took a trip to California for a week to visit my hometown, see my parents and friends, and check out...
Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me, and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know.
This is a time
when your life could take on a different level of propulsion.
Since the most ancient of times, numbers and numerology have been believed to conceal secrets and messages. For some, numbers have very special significance, with the ability to conceal true meaning from all but
Introducing Discover Online Privacy Protection.
In a fractured, divided world, it's nice to know there is one thing we can all agree on. The calendar. No matter your politics or your religion, we can all agree that the year is 2021. Right?
this video has been...
Street interview style content on YouTube.
In this... How would you like to die? And then that's a hypothetical question, not a threat. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. Epic blaze of glory befitting an action movie such as wrestling a bear while falling out of a plane. Whatever your answer, the idea of a machine disassembling you and...
There, do you see my boundary now?
Yeah, why not? But no, today we're not talking about teleporters, we're talking about grey goo. The term grey goo was first used by American engineer K. Eric Drexler, a pioneer of nano... engines of creation. Grey goo is presented briefly as a thought experiment. In 2004... It's the title of this bloody video, isn't it? We can't blame him, because it's a pretty stupid name. Aside from sounding a little gross, the name leads to a lot of misconceptions. Goo is a rather evocative word. You're probably thinking of some thick, viscous substance that is grey in colour, and that's certainly what the name would imply, but it's not at all what Drexler was talking about. He used the term grey goo as a way to describe the material as bland, uninspiring, and possibly even worse.
What if you guys are seeing this? This is one of the issues that I've had with the Quest 2 since the 44 and 46 updates.
Which one?
Ugh.
They're all the same.
Let's see if we can
We're a
reset
citrus
it.
co-op, which means we're owned by the farmers and their families, not some big corporation. So from tree
It also
to
seems
table,
to have something to do
it's
with
all
using
hands working together to bring you the most
flashlighting.
fine.
Oh, that is different.
A good different.
Where do I check out?
2 trees down, take a right. Florida.
Oh, and then it was nice enough to put the fucking those things back on the. Motherfuckers.
Goo and you. Grey goo refers to self-replicating nanobots, because of course it does. Specifically, it refers to self-replicating nanobots that have somehow gotten out of control, either from a programming error or a malicious design. Presumably, nanobots would be designed to require special raw materials in order to replicate themselves. As such, they would only replicate so long as those raw materials were available. I can see where this is going. You're the raw material, aren't you? We are. Oh, we're all screwed. However, if there was the right kind of error in the programming, or more accurately, the wrong kind of error, the nanobots could instead use materials indiscriminately to replicate themselves. Let's say these
That would be awful.
machines were made out of carbon. Uh-oh. I know what I'm made out of. And they began tearing materials apart to get more carbon with which to replicate themselves. Look, carbon accounts for around 25% of biomass on Earth. Humans may only be 18.5% carbon. We're going to assume that you need that bits of carbon to live. Yeah, I don't want a robot. I don't want a little robot taking 18.5% of me away. It's not going to work out well. It's going to be messy. Look, humans invent shit that can kill ourselves all the time, so why should this fill us with any more existential dread than any other technology? And the answer is everyone's favourite source of seemingly impossible facts: exponential growth. Exponents may be the most terrifying thing to exist in the universe beside rabies, of course, because of the dangers that they can pose. All it would take is one nanobot that was indiscriminately replicating itself to cause a world-ending event. When Drexler originally did its maths, he used the example of the bots replicating every 1,000 seconds, but we'll just say 20 minutes. It's a slightly slower pace, but it's easier to conceptualize than tens of thousands of seconds. But after 20 minutes, our one malfunctioning robot would have created a second robot. Yay, not scary! After 40 minutes, those two would have created 4. 1 hour in, we're up to 8 robots. And you can see how this begins to go and how we all end up a big mess with 18.5% of us missing. And look, if 8 doesn't seem scary yet, well then welcome to your first lesson in exponential growth, because after 12 hours the number of nanobots would have increased to 69 billion, which is terrifying. A little over 2 days of this and the nanobots would weigh more than the entire mass of the planet. Exponentials, why? Obviously that last part is impossible since the robots couldn't create...
That fucks that up, don't it?
If you were even aware there was a problem, it would probably already be too late. This scenario is referred to as ecophagia, a term coined by Robert Freitas to describe the literal eating of an entire ecosystem. The term was used in Freitas' paper, Some Limits to Global Ecophagy by Biovorous Nanoreplicators with Public Policy Recommendations in the year 2000. That's a hell of a title, mate. Look, and catchy titles aside, this was the first real scientific look at the concept of grey goo. The exponential growth
When you get a chip in your windshield, trust Safeway. This couple was headed to the farmer's market. When they got a chip, they drove to Safeway for a same-day repair. And with their insurance, it was no cost to them. That's service the way you need it.
Safe like repair, safe like replace. Okay, the usual sandwich, Sam?
Yes, but no veggies, please.
No veggies. Introducing
Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Bankman-Fried. For years, we've all been told that these tech titans are literal geniuses, visionary thinkers who earned their power through sheer intellect. But after what we've seen over the past few months, I think we finally need to admit, once and for all, that these people are fucking idiots. And they have been the entire time. I mean, just look at what's happening. Self-proclaimed real-life Iron Man Elon Musk just went billions into debt to buy his favorite bird website, then fired everyone and announced his new toy was
No! Get out from behind Daddy's computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew who I was talking to.
People. At the same time, he's wasting $36 billion on a metaverse no one wants to use. And 30-year-old crypto billionaire in short, Sam Bankman-Fried, turned out to be nothing but a massive fraud when his crypto exchange, FTX, evaporated into thin air along with billions in regular people's money. Now, I hesitate to call anyone stupid. As an esteemed public intellectual, name-calling is beneath me, but these people are the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. And that's bad because they literally run vast swaths of our economy. And when we... buy into their bullshit, we enable them to fuck us over time and time again. And it has to stop now. Okay, before we get really into it, I want to thank all my supporters on Patreon for making this video possible. If you'd like to join them, head to patreon.com/AdamConover. Okay, off to the races. Let's start with the richest and stupidest man in the world, Elon Musk. For decades, journalists, biographers, and fanboys have described Elon as a super genius who's propelling us into the next century. But his purchase of Twitter proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Elon is a fucking dumbass. Dude bought himself a $44 billion toy and broke it on the first day. Why? Because he doesn't understand a goddamn thing about it. See, in order to buy Twitter, Elon took out more loans than a Florida homeowner in 2007. The company is now on the hook for $1.5 billion a year in interest payments alone. And since Twitter was already unprofitable to begin with, that means that Elon needs a ton of revenue right the fuck now. So he decides, hey, people love those blue check marks, let's make them pay for them. And this is simply staggeringly stupid. I mean, okay, he's right. Speaking as a member of the digital elite, we love our blue checks. I got mine in 2013 when I was on the failed reboot of VH1's Best Week Ever, and I've treasured it ever since. Oh, look at that guy. He hasn't even ruined anything yet. By putting the blue check up for sale, Musk destroyed its entire purpose and lost himself billions in revenue. See, the point of the blue check mark is that it allows everyone to tell at a glance which accounts are run by the actual person or organization they represent. But not anymore. The day the new verified badge launched, Twitter was deluged with verified tweets from George Bush bragging about killing Iraqis, Super Mario giving the finger, and drug company Eli Lilly announcing that insulin was now free. Now, all three of those are genuinely hilarious, but the last one actually caused Eli Lilly's stock price to plummet by 10%, losing them billions in market cap. Which, again, is hilarious, because fuck Eli Lilly, insulin should be free. But as a result, they canceled millions in advertising dollars they were going to spend on Twitter, as did countless other brands. Twitter has spent the last 15 years painstakingly building credibility and trust with brands so that they felt comfortable enough to, advertise on a service known to most of us as a cesspool of nonsense and hate. And Elon just burned it all down with one of his dumbass flamethrowers for $8 measly bucks. But hey, maybe he can make it up with all of that sweet subscription revenue. Well, let's see. According to the New York Times, about 140,000 accounts signed up for Twitter Blue in the days after launch. So, at $8 per account, that means the verification system brought in a little over $1 million in revenue. Use that to pay down the $1.5 billion Elon owes this year, and that leaves, $1.5 billion. Elon would need 187 million people to sign up for Twitter Blue just to pay back his lenders, and he's currently 0.07% of the way there. Good luck, bud. Hope that was worth destroying your company's sole source of revenue. On top of being terrible at math, Elon also fucking sucks at the one thing he's supposed to be good at, running a company. When Elon bought Twitter, he immediately fired half its employees, then realized he needed some of them to, run the website, so he begged them to come back like a desperate ex-boyfriend who thought he could do better. Elon treated people so poorly that the executives in charge of trust and safety, privacy, information security, and regulatory compliance all quit. Uh-oh, that might be a problem, since Twitter is currently under an FTC consent decree that requires them to strictly follow privacy regulations when they do things like, say, publish a new paid verification service. I'm not a legal guy, but let me just check what the penalty is for violating that consent decree. Oh, says here it's billions of dollars in fines and potential jail time. Good luck with the feds, champ. So why is Elon Musk fucking this up so badly? Simple. His carefully crafted public image as a genius innovator has been a con from the very start. Elon didn't found Tesla. He used the money he got from co-founding PayPal, the payment service that sucks, to buy a stake in Tesla. Then he kicked out the original co-founder, Martin Eberhard, and stole Martin's title, not to mention his car. SpaceX does some cool shit, but they're a government space contractor that makes their money suckling at Uncle Sam's teat. And face it, Elon didn't design those rockets, he just brags about it on Twitter. And finally, there's Hyperloop and the Boring Company. Remember how Elon claimed he invented a new system of transportation that was supposed to end traffic forever? Well, that turned into a 2-mile tunnel in Las Vegas where a Tesla drives you at 30 miles an hour. Yeah, it's pretty slow, but it could be useful if you're too drunk to stumble from the Bellagio to the Circus, I guess. Elon is good, great, at exactly 3 things.
Babies!
Trolling, causing chaos,
and
telling everyone
nice.
he's a genius. And he does all those things on Twitter, which seems to be the only reason he bought it. But you know what? If you're addicted to gambling, you probably shouldn't buy the horse track. And now that Elon runs Twitter, he's running it straight into the ground. The site's become dangerously unstable, and it's already ceased functioning in countries around the world. And I do need to point out that as much as we all hate being on Twitter, it is important as a means of communication. It's a vital link to the outside world for people living under repressive regimes. It's a professional network that millions use to find work. And it's how we figure out if that shaking was actually an earthquake or not. When Twitter collapses, it's going to be an undeniable loss. Oh, Musk is going to be fine. He'll still be a billionaire. But millions of people around the world could soon have their voices sucked.
No. No. No.
Silenced just because this dumbass wanted.
Place in society really is, because I mean, where is a place for people who hate people? It is a love story, but it's also like a horror thriller movie.
Oh,
it's like
no.
blending these genres like frickin' Picasso. The performances are incredible, the cinematography is good, the
I'll get
directing
you.
is excellent. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino. If you're a true cinephile, chances are you're gonna love this film. So check it out in your local theater this Thanksgiving, or go to bonesandallfilm.com to get tickets today. Once again, thanks to Bones and All for sponsoring this section of the video. Now it's time to get back to this crazy new scanning technology. My journey with the Chrome Ball started over the summer with NVIDIA's Instant Nerf program, but I had to learn a bunch of Python coding and use a command terminal just to get the thing to run. Now, however, it's as easy as using a phone app, thanks to Luma AI. It's like Polycam, one of my other favorite apps, but it's for Nerf. So you take a bunch of different photos and you upload it to their server. 12 minutes later, you get back a Nerf. It's great, and it's easy, and it's fast. But I need to be able to import my own camera animations separately. And that's something I can actually now do with the website version of this app on my computer. And that opens so many doors. And I'm going to spend the rest of this video walking through some of them. Apparently not that one. So I know what you might be thinking. What can you do with this new Nerf technology? Well, one of the more obvious and easy things to do is just a simple background replacement. So Nico here is standing in front of our X green screen wall. Don't worry about it. I'm going to roto him. Typically, most people, when they're shooting on a green screen, the camera's going to be locked off because the background needs to match the foreground, and the moment you add motion to everything, you're going to have a hard time. Like me, right now. What we're doing here with Nico is we're going to take the camera out of the tripod and move it around. I'm going to be using Biplay Camera app to 3D track the scene as I record the footage here, and then I'll replace the background and make him look like he's anywhere. I'm in a nerd. So another idea you can do with this type of scanning tech is like portals. What if this door turned into a portal? This is really a door to another world. So you first got to start by 3D tracking your shot. This is all pretty standard. Then I can take that exact same camera move and apply it to any radiance field that I want. Whoa. Yo. What? Oh man, now it's a new one? How is this working? And can I even peer through it? Whoa, no kidding. Sick. Oh wait, where'd it go? I want to go back. I just shot for 40 seconds. This is a 40-second one-take VFX shot.
You're not supposed to be over there.
It's not even a thing. I mean, it was a bit of a thing, but not too much of a thing. So going back to the stuff I shot with Nico, here are a few things I learned. I was just having fun rendering out shots because it was so easy just to take the exact same camera move and drop it in another scene. Whoa, look at that. Wow, what a spot. Look at that. That's crazy. Like, I put them on top of a mountain where I like to go one-wheeling. I put them in my kitchen. I put them in a garden at night. Nerfs work really well at night. Have you ever tried photo scanning anything at night?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. But this worked. Another thing is just how subtle reflections can really be. I know we talked about this earlier, but it's what makes all of this stuff just sell so well is because the wall slightly getting brighter when a reflection gets a little bit more direct to your eyes. That's how light works. It looks like footage.
This better look photoreal, otherwise I'm gonna be disappointed.
Whoa! the camera just kind of went through the geometry there a little bit.
It's not geometry.
Those aren't polygons at all. Those are radiance fields.
And lastly, check out the shot of Nico on my kitchen table next to a plant. You know, a 3D camera move is still something you can scale down or up, and that gave me an idea. What if I scaled the world down to make someone big?
Ryan, could you scale me back down, please? Or like scale the room up or something? I don't know how you did this, but I don't like it. Uncomfortable.
You must go bigger. Bigger! You don't have to use your phone. It's just based off of images. They can come from anywhere. So I'm gonna use my drone. What I'm looking to get here is I'm basically trying to get a scan of that big building so that I can then comp in a shot of a person all big. All right, I captured the Nerf. Now I gotta capture myself so that I can 3D track this shot and put it in the Nerf. I'm gonna have a spin around me. Nah! I'm King Kong! Ha! All right, we got something there.
I am the king of the world, yeah!
What sells this shot for me is, of course, the lighting. I captured both the plate and the Nerf outdoors at golden hour, and the Nerf has captured all of that golden sunset goodness. Pro tip, if you want your Nerfs and plates to match, capture both of them with the same lighting conditions and, ideally, the same camera as well. So Nerfs get you cheap photorealism, but it's not just any photorealism, it's a specific flavor that's tuned to the camera that actually captures it. So I'm going to do an experiment comparing the scans from a red camera versus a webcam. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. My theory is that one scan will have a cinematic look and the other scan will have a bit of a cheap webcam look. Yep, that's exactly what I expected. You know, you got compression, dynamic range, the quality of your lens. All of these will have an impact on your finished scan. And speaking of cinematic, the dream of a gimbal operator is to get like the smoothest, most cinematic shots. But sometimes, for whatever reason, maybe you're not able to get that sort of smoothest you want. So I'm gonna get the most ridiculous camera move possible here. Like, this is not gonna be a good shot, but the magic of Nerfs is that it can do this. For comparison, here's what Warp Stabilizer did with the shot. I'm also not limited to simple camera moves either. I can get as complex as I want. Do you remember Frozen Crossing Alpha? Everyone's frozen in time and the camera's moving through that. When they needed to speed up the shot, they would take the footage and fast forward it, but then you get the But if they were able to just do a radiance field scan of the whole thing, they could pick and choose their camera moves after the fact. This is the Nerf. Dude, whoa! Your face gets a little weird here up close.
Oh, dude, it's a little bit smushy. Can I take this and extract geometry from it still?
Yes, you can extract the geometry, but you lose all of the reflectiveness because it all gets baked down into a single diffuse texture. And so that texture then doesn't change as you orbit around and view it from different spots. It's a little like, you know, being handed the keys to a Rolls Royce and then being like, sweet, I'm only gonna need the hubcaps.
It's almost like you're leaving the most valuable part behind.
Exactly! The most valuable part of a Nerf is the actual neural render. That's what you get that photogrammetry doesn't give you. Nerfs are at their most powerful when we treat them like video footage rather than a scene to pull textures and models out of. But it does allow you to do something cool like, collision geometry for simulation.
Yeah, dude, drop a cloth on that.
Now you're getting the best of both worlds. You're still utilizing the sort of photogrammetry mesh of the whole scan, but what we're looking at is still the neural render.
Oh, it'd be so sick if you could apply motion blur inside of the Nerf program and depth of field inside.
Oh, dude, you're totally right. Like, it's so early days. The tools are so rudimentary. It feels like I'm trying to carve a statue with other rocks. It's like, technically I can get it to work, but it's just taking a lot of pounding away at it. It is literally 12:44 a.m. right now, because this video needs to be done tomorrow. It's been difficult to explain this to people.
A lot of like jaggy edges and stuff. It's kind of weird smeariness in the background. It's a little bit smushy. This better look photoreal, otherwise I'm gonna be disappointed. Why is your green screen white?
See, it's not about how perfect the results are right now. It's about the potential of these results, you know? I have a very strong belief that it's just a matter of time before no one will be able to tell the difference between a Nerf and actual video. I think I need one more shot. Something to, like, really demonstrate how crazy useful this new tech can be. There it goes. Yep. I guess I'm not dreaming. I think I know what our final shot's gonna be. We're gonna try to do an Inception shot. You know the shot in Inception when, like, Paris folds over? I'm doing one of those. Kind of. I'm doing a poor man's interpretation of the very advanced effects, but it's gonna require, like, 1,000th of the effort.
Ren, are we doing an Inception shot because you're trying to impress Paul Franklin?
I'm not doing that. Okay, don't really have access to this spot, so I'm just gonna record a quick shot. Now to quickly get a rebel scan. The rebel scans have gotten away from us this time. Because of all the chaotic stuff going on here, if I wanted to actually shoot a video, it would have been too hard. But fortunately, I was able to get a scan, so in theory, I can go back and actually do all the production filmmaking after the fact. Car. And there you have it. I hope at least some of these ideas have inspired you to pay attention to Nerfs. I mean, there's a lot of potential here, and I've just barely scratched the surface. It's our job as artists to push this tech as far as it will go. None of these shots in this video were, like, production ready, but I hope that maybe they inspire some sort of nugget of an idea in you, so that you can get into this stuff as well and push the bounds too. Of course, I recommend Luma. It's what I've been using for the majority of this video, but my buddy James helped me with NVIDIA's Instant Nerf thing. In fact, I think he has a plugin out that allows you to control all of that stuff inside of Blender. And also, as of today, Polycam announced a partnership with Nerf Studio. There's tons of options, and if there's anyone out there not yet convinced of the potential of this new technology, I implore you to just look 2 papers down the line to see where this tech is going. It's exciting. What a time to be alive. We keep calling it Nerfs, but I would like to make a point right now to change the name, because I think Nerfs are a stupid name. Let's be honest, it's a stupid name. I think a better, more apt name would be Light Fields. Light Fields is a much cooler. Technically, it's going to be...
Oh, whoops.